Magnesium deficiency. Why it matters if you wake up at night with leg cramps, if anxiety comes without reason, if in the morning you wake up already tired, most likely, your body has already been for several months, gives the same signal. It's just that no one explained how it was read. Today I'll tell you about 5 products with the highest content magnesium. Let's figure out why this mineral is so important and why is it so lacking everyone. Without magnesium in the body, there is not a single important reaction is triggered. He participates in more than 300 biochemical processes, regulates heart rhythm, participates in the transmission of nerve impulses, controls muscle tone, helps maintain normal pressure. When there is enough magnesium, the heart works smoothly, muscles relax, the system doesn't react to every little thing as a threat. When it's missing, the main symptoms of magnesium deficiency, it starts to fail gradually, so which you don't even notice at first. Deficit magnesium is difficult to detect with conventional analysis blood. Most of the magnesium, about 60-65%, is stored in bones, another 27% in muscles and tissues. In the blood, there is only about 1%, and the body is designed in such a way that it will keep this 1% within the norm at any cost, drawing magnesium from bones and muscles. Therefore, the analysis may show the norm, and the person has been at this for several months now lives in deficit. That's why the symptom's more important than the numbers on the test form. Now, why has magnesium deficiency become so common? The first reason is modern food. Magnesium is found in plants, but its quantity directly depends on the soil composition. Over the past decades of intensive farming depleted the soil. According to a number of research on magnesium content in vegetables and cereals, decreased by 20-30% compared to the middle of the last century. We eat the same foods and get the same results, there are fewer of them. The second reason is age. After 50, the intestines absorb magnesium worse. It's just a fact that needs to be stated, take into account. The third reason, and here many are surprised. Some are very common medications lower magnesium levels in body. Diuretics, inhibitors, proton pumps, even some antibiotics for long-term use. How does magnesium affect the nervous system and sleep? A person treats one thing without noticing it, creates another problem. The fourth reason is stress. In chronic, when stressed, the body uses up magnesium faster. When stress hormones are released, the kidneys begin to excrete magnesium more actively with urine. A vicious circle from which it's hard to get out without understanding its mechanism. So, the picture is emerging. We get less, we absorb it worse, we spend it faster. This is why, according to the World Healthcare Organization's, magnesium deficiency is one of the most common nutritional deficiencies among people over 50 years old. And it is precisely that's why I'm not talking about pills today, and about food, because it's right, the selected products are capable of systematically and gently replenish this deficit day by day during the day. Let's move on to our list. Pumpkin seeds. Seems like nothing special, but if you knew that hiding inside this little seed, you would look at them completely differently. Peeled pumpkin seeds without shells contain about 530 to 540 mg magnesium per 100 grams. This is one of the most high rates among all common food products. No one other product from our today's list does not provide such concentration per 100 grams of weight. But here stop. High magnesium content in product, this is not yet a guarantee that the body will receive it. There is a concept bioavailability. What percentage of what you eat will actually be absorbed? And the seeds of the varnish nuts have one thing in common feature. The seed coat contains substance, phytic acid. It cramps, heart and energy levels binds minerals, magnesium, zinc, iron, and makes it difficult to digest them. If there is pumpkin seeds straight from the pack, part magnesium will simply pass by. How does this fix it? It's very simple. Soak it, peeled seeds in cold water for 6-8 hours before use. This enough to significantly reduce phytic acid content and open the body's access to minerals. Second method, light drying on a dry surface frying pan without oil, snorts literally 3 to 4 minutes. Not hot, just warming up. An adult needs about 300-400 milligrams magnesium per day. Snorts 1 to 2 tablespoons of pumpkin seeds will give about 150 milligrams, almost half the norm. Add them to porridge, salad, in soup before serving, or keep next to tea instead of cookies. Besides, pumpkin seeds are rich in magnesium and zinc tryptophan, an amino acid from which the body produces serotonin. This, in including, explains why regular pumpkin seed consumption is associated with improved sleep quality and decreased anxiety. Not instantaneous, but stable, cumulative. Let's move on to product number 4. That's with one the mention of which most people smiles. This is perhaps the most pleasant way to get magnesium. Dark chocolate. Yes, you heard right. Dark chocolate is indeed included top 5 sources of magnesium. 100 grams of high-quality dark chocolate with cocoa content of 70% and above contains about 1,030 milligrams of magnesium. This is approximately magnesium and stress. A vicious cycle, a third of the daily requirement. But with chocolate, it's important not to make one mistake, because the whole effect disappears. The word is bitter. Not dark, not elite, not dear. It is precisely the bitter one with the cocoa content not less than 70%, because magnesium is found in cocoa beans. The more cocoa in the bar, the more magnesium. So the rule is simple. Look at the composition. First on the list, cocoa mass should be among the ingredients or cocoa powder. If it comes first sugar, put the bar back, 20-25 grams per day. The optimal portion is 2 or 3 slices. This is enough to get significant amount of magnesium, not overloading the body with sugar and calories. In addition, cocoa stimulates the production of endorphins and serotonin. Feeling calmness and a slight uplift of mood after a small piece of bitter chocolate is not self-hypnosis, it is biochemistry. One important note, cocoa contains oxalates and tyramine, which are in large quantities. Quantities can provoke exacerbation in people with diseases, gallbladder, or a tendency to migrations. If you get a headache after eating chocolate, pain or discomfort in the right hypochondrium, better to make it a rare pleasure and replenish magnesium from other sources our list. So dark chocolate, it works. 2 or 3 slices a day, no less than 70% cocoa. And that's already real. Contribution to magnesium replenishment. Now, why does the shortage arise? Let's continue the list. Buckwheat is a product that stands on every kitchen and which most people perceive just as a side dish. But buckwheat is one of the most underrated sources of magnesium in our diet. 100 grams of dry buckwheat cereals contain about 230-250 milligrams magnesium. After cooking, the concentration decreases, the cereal absorbs water, but the portion is ready. 200 grams of buckwheat still gives about 80 to 100 milligrams of magnesium. This is about a quarter daily requirement from a regular bowl of porridge. Now there is one point that changes attitude towards buckwheat completely. Buckwheat is not a cereal in the botanical sense. It is a pseudo-cereal crop, a relative of sorrel and rhubarb. And this it's important for one reason. Buckwheat doesn't have gluten and significantly less fat and acids than in wheat or barley. Remember we talked about this barrier in the context of seeds. In buckwheat it's significantly lower. Magnesium from buckwheat absorbed more effectively than many other cereals without soaking and additional training. There is an old one, a method of preparation that our grandmothers also used it, and which today is fully explained from a physiological point of view. Buckwheat is poured cold water overnight and leaves swell without cooking. In the morning, drain the water, wash and eat or warm for 5 minutes. This type of buckwheat retains more active ingredients, compounds than boiled, including rutin, a bioflavonoid that strengthens capillary walls and improves forms of magnesium. Which one to choose? Circulation. For people with varicose veins, fragility, blood vessels, and a tendency to edema, a separate bonus, which is partially cooked, destroys. Buckwheat contains slow carbohydrates, low glycemic index. It gives long-term saturation without sudden surges, sugar in rabbits. For people with impaired metabolism or pre-bet, this is fundamentally important. Source of magnesium, which does not put any load on pancreas. A rare combination. If you cook buckwheat, do not overcook it. Bring to a boil, reduce heat to minimum, cover and turn off after 10 minutes. Let it sit for another 10 to 15 minutes. This method saves more nutrients than long cooking high heat. So buckwheat in our deserved, accessible, familiar with good bioavailability of magnesium. Moving on to product number 2. It's also I know him well, but he has a feature that makes it not just a source of magnesium, but something else significantly larger. Almonds. They sell them everywhere. They have been around for a long time. Became part of the usual snack, namely that's why most people don't take him seriously. And yet 100 grams of almonds contains about 230-270 milligrams of magnesium, almost the daily requirement in one handfuls. But don't rush to take a big package, because with almonds, as with pumpkin seeds, there is a nuance. The almonds are covered with a thin brown coating, skin. It has a high concentration. How to take magnesium correctly: tonins and phytic acid, which we've already talked about it. It reduces absorption. Magnesium and other minerals. The solution is the same. Soak in water for 8-12 hours. After soaking, the skin is easy, it comes off, and underneath is a completely different nut taste, soft-ar, slightly licorice, characterless bitterness. It is in this almonds give the body maximum nutrition. What is in it? In the Ayurvedic tradition, soaked almonds without skin are considered one of best products for maintaining clarity mind and strengthening the nervous system. Today we understand why. Magnesium plus vitamin E plus with improved bioavailability after soaking. Now about why almonds are more than just a source magnesium. Almonds contain both magnesium, calcium, and phosphorus, 3 minerals, important for bone health. After by age 50, bone density decreases, and most people in this situation think only about calcium. But calcium without magnesium. Poorly digestible. Almonds are one of few products that are simultaneously supplies several necessary elements and complex. In addition, almonds are rich vitamin E, an antioxidant that protects cell membranes from damage. 20 grams of almonds per day. How much is needed and when to expect the effect? Covers about 50% of the daily requirement in vitamin E. For skin vessels, reduction inflammatory processes are real support. About 15-20 nuts. More this is not necessary. Almonds contain calories, and excess consumption is unacceptable, will add a burden on digestion, not benefit. The best time is in the morning. Soaked within the evening, the almonds are ready in the morning. Remove peel, eat with tea instead of your usual snack. Important warning. Almonds are one of the most common allergens among nuts. If you have an allergy, we exclude and replenish nuts and almonds magnesium from other sources of our list. Product number 1 left. I deliberately kept it for last. The number 1 product on our list is chia seeds. 100 grams of these seeds contain approximately 350 milligrams of magnesium. This is a high figure, but I put chia in first place for more than one reason: only concentration. The pumpkin seeds we were sorting through, the first ones, contain more putrefaction per 100 gram weights. There are 3 qualities in the chia contraindications and precautions combinations that no one else has. Another product from our list. First, bioavailability. Chia contains significantly less phytic acid, less than in most seeds. Proper use of magnesium absorbed well, without long-term soaking. Second, ease of use. A tablespoon of seeds in a glass of water or kefir for 10-15 minutes and the seeds swell, form a soft gel-like shell. In this form, they are easily digested even for a sensitive stomach. Almost no taste. No, the seeds are neutral. They can be added to porridge, yogurt, anything a familiar dish. Third, ingredients. In addition to magnesium, chia contains omega-3 vegetable fatty acids, origin, calcium, and soluble fiber that gently supports bowel function. For older people in whom peristalsis slows down with age, it is a separate and a very practical bonus. Daily serving 1 or 2 tablespoons is 15-30 grams. Start with 1 spoon and be sure to drink enough water. Chia is rich in the main mistake when taking fiber, and a sharp increase can cause intestinal discomfort. Find whose today is not difficult. They are sold in any large supermarket in the department's healthy eating. They are inexpensive and are consumed slowly. 1 pack enough for a month with daily use. Here is our complete list. 5th place, pumpkin seeds. The 4th is dark chocolate. The 3rd is buckwheat. 2nd, almonds. 1st, seeds whose. It would seem that now everything is clear. Add these foods to your diet and in a month or 2, how will I feel? Will improve. But there is something I don't. I spoke up to this point intentionally, and this more important than any single product list. Magnesium is not absorbed alone. 2 substances without which even the most diet rich in magnesium will only provide half effect. First, vitamin D. Without sufficient levels of vitamin D magnesium, it doesn't penetrate well where it's needed. This is a deficiency of this vitamin phenomenon. Massive, especially in the autumn-winter period. 2 deficits often go hand in hand and reinforce each other. The second is vitamin B6. It helps magnesium. Bottom line, how do raw magnesium levels be kept inside the cage, preventing it from being excreted too quickly? Without B6, magnesium is like water in a solution, arrives but does not linger. Where can I get vitamin B6 from food? Chicken breast, beef liver, potatoes, bananas, walnuts. Where can I get vitamin D? Fatty fish, mackerel, herring, salmon, egg yolk. Conclusion and sun, 20-30 minutes in the open air during daylight hours. For those who rarely go outside, it's worth discussing with a doctor taking vitamin D in the form of supplements. Now about the enemy of magnesium, which is rarely spoken. Coffee and alcohol increase the excretion of magnesium in the urine. This is not a call to give up your morning cup. But if you drink 3 to 4 cups a day and at the same time you sleep poorly, worry, and if you suffer from cramps, it might be coffee. Absorbs magnesium faster than the diet manages to replenish it. Simple solution, a glass of water after every cup coffee. And lastly, and most importantly, magnesium works cumulatively. Real changes, improved sleep, decreased anxiety, reduction of seizures, stabilization of pressure is beginning to be felt after 3 to 6 weeks of regular use replenishment. The main principle here is not intensity, but constancy. A little every day is better than many times, from time to time. That's the whole answer to the question. For a whole range of unpleasant symptoms, there is one deficit that is not easy to overcome, notice, and easy to fix. No pills but food. Gradually, not just one a product, but a system of small ones daily elections. Look at yours plate. Is there anything there? What we talked about today. Write in the comments which of these products are already in your diet and what you will try to add. Thank you for watching the video to the end. I wanted more. Remind you that in the video description, I am attaching lists of scientific studies on the topic of the video. You can with them check it out if you want to get into it. Let's dive deeper into this topic. Until next time, dear ones. Friends.